Hi there, my name is Dahlia, and today I want to tell everyone about one of my most favorite video games of all time, Undertale. Undertale is a role-playing video game centered around a young human child who falls down into the underground, a world beneath the Earth's surface which is populated by creatures known as monsters. Blocked from the surface by a magical barrier, the tiny child must find a way to return home. As the player, you encounter puzzles, different areas, and many kinds of interesting and charming characters along the way. Undertale's lovable characters and immersive storytelling truly bring a fulfilling gaming experience, amplified by the amazing soundtrack and delightful pixel art style, all created, well mostly, by a single person, Toby Fox. Undertale was published by indie developer Toby Fox and released on September 15th in 2015 for Microsoft Windows and OS X. It was later released for the PS4 and PS Vita in 2017, and the Nintendo Switch in 2018. It received an ESRB rating of E10 and up after its first re-release in 2017. Undertale's target audience includes people who enjoy playing RPGs and puzzle games, or just anyone who loves good storytelling. Aside from that, Toby Fox himself had close friends unfamiliar with the combat style playtest the game, hoping to make a game easy enough for inexperienced players. He calls back to games such as the Mario & Luigi series and Toho Project series as inspiration for the game's bullet hell battle system, as well as Earthbound for the game's unsettling atmosphere and unique writing. Toby Fox took all this and more into consideration, making sure that all kinds of players would be able to enjoy the game. And enjoy they did. The game was positively well received, quickly loved by many who played Undertale upon release. It holds a 10 out of 10 on both Steam and IGN, with many considering it an internet cult classic even today. But what makes Undertale so great? A core mechanic of the game is the battle system. In the beginning of the game, the player is discouraged from harming the enemy, and is instead told to use conversation as a way of ending a fight. During a fight, the player must choose to either kill, run away, or befriend the monsters. Throughout the battle, there is dialogue with the opponent, prompting the player to find ways of getting the enemy to subdue their attacks, ultimately ending the fight by showing them mercy. However, killing an enemy increases the player's EXP and LV, and earns them more gold. The movements of the player also change with items that can be equipped, and major changes to the controls are made during boss fights. The choices made by the player throughout the game and the interactions with the monsters during battles greatly change the outcome and the way the game will progress. This mechanic prompts several different kinds of dynamics. With the choice at hand, the player can either decide to play through the game without killing anyone, or fight as they go, earning them more money for items and an easier time during battles. But the game prompts you to avoid fighting, creating endearing stories within each and every encounter, making the player acknowledge that the enemies are their own individual beings and raising the moral stakes of killing them. Players can engage in fun storylines and conversations with the monsters even outside of battle if they choose not to kill. They can play the game in a pacifistic mindset, going through a meaningful journey and befriending many of the characters along the way. Some aesthetics that Undertale emphasizes are the narrative and discovery side of most RPGs. A first-time player would most likely immediately assume to kill every enemy encountered, since that is a main mechanic of most role-playing games. However, Undertale urges the player to discover different means of ending a fight, with its heartfelt narrative through charming characters. It can also be quite challenging with its puzzles and during battles to avoid dying throughout. One method of clear and submersive gameplay for Undertale is completely ignoring all the signs pointing towards not killing and instead going full genocide mode. New players might accidentally kill a monster or two in their first run of the game, and that's okay. It's quick to learn that this game discourages that, and it's easy to get back on track to a pacifist route. However, actively choosing to fight and defeat monsters is a clear sign of defiance to how the game wants you to play it, and promotes a drastic change in the way the player goes through their journey. The game's dynamics are changed entirely, with the player now seen as the enemy in the eyes of the underground residents, as well as a more barren and empty environment, resulting in more ominous and unnerving atmosphere. The fights get much harder, and the overall story turns the hero into the true monster. With Undertale's large emphasis on kindness, sparing, and showing mercy even in the face of all of life's challenges, the game creates a sweet and heartfelt experience, leaving the player ultimately satisfied and feeling somewhat bittersweet at the end of their journey. It's a game I highly recommend to those who believe that video games can be more than a simple pastime or a serious competition of racking up points and winning through numbers, and to people who appreciate video games as a medium for storytelling. Toby Fox managed to create a wonderful story using a disguise of just another indie RPG that goes way into depth of morals and choices with its unique and innovative method of gameplay. Undertale is definitely a game that left a deep impact on myself and many others, I'm sure. And with that, I hope this is a good analysis on Undertale and kind of a rant about why I love it so much. Thanks for watching. Goodbye!